Hi, I'm RP Spartan, also known as Robert. This is Jacob, aka Knight Zarin of Diastone.
Hi.
This comes into effect later.
It
So this is the commission that you had requested of
Yes.
the boss fight.
Yeah, and that was it was a really exciting boss fight that turned around on us unexpectedly, like any part of our adventure. But we're gonna start with a little bit of the background of the dungeon and why I had him draw it for us because it was actually kind of funny and epic, and then sad. But
Mostly sad.
mo- we'll get to that when explaining it.
But this is so. Let's start with a little bit of background first with Knight Zarin.
Night Zarin? Oh,
So we'll start off with you, then we'll move on to Noel and Ashley.
yeah. So you want to start from the beginning, why he's there, or just his character in general?
A little bit of both.
Well, he's a standard. His background is a soldier, but he
Fifth edition.
fifth edition. We forgot to mention that. So his
Fifth
background
edition.
his background's a soldier, and he was part of a special mercenary group that didn't really work for anyone, but they worked, relatively neutral jobs, more or less, if you know what that means. Um, he's kind of unorthodox, but he's a straight to the point person. He's not really good at talking, just like how I'm not really good at talking. So when I start a conversation with a merchant and somehow it ends up being a robbery, that's pretty much what my character sums up with talking. And there will be moments why there's just moments where it gets a little crazy with him. But when he's on, I guess you say leave or R&R, he really lets it loose. Like his character introduction was kind of awkward and weird because he literally walks into a pub naked.
Yeah, that happened.
But when he becomes when he actually starts to become fighting and
That was strange to DM. I remember that.
yeah,
But go on.
when he starts to actually work, he's really professional, but he's really strategic, but he doesn't have a clue about, well, he does, but he just has a really bad time helping people because his backfires so bad.
Good intentions, horrible results.
Yes.
Main theme of the campaign too.
Main theme. That's pretty much 90% of the reason why this campaign is happening.
I tried making them heroes and they wound up fucking it up, but we'll
Not on
continue.
purpose.
I know. These guys are like nat one, or we take this to this area because we felt like it. I'm like, oh.
The common problem with my character is him trying to do good things, but they just don't end up. Just don't end up good. That's all.
Yep. Very combat oriented.
Yeah, he's very combat oriented. He's a really nice guy.
No social oriented.
Has no idea how to talk to people.
Background on so Knight Zarin in this picture should be the one in green, the shield fighter.
A little bit of orange too.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, he does have orange. One in the red coat is after was it Noel?
Yes.
And
Hendrik.
that is Hendrik. The was it Arcanist? No.
Architect, is it?
Architect.
It
No.
was, it was a new class that came out at the time, and he wanted to try it, and then he hated it
Yeah.
because he didn't have a
the
lot
wizard that can build things.
He didn't have a lot of combat efficacy.
I'm gonna put like the little fucking subtitles in, and I'm just gonna correct it like a dumbass later. But he had how did he come into the campaign? Just yeah, not with the first time when he died, but the second time.
It was the same reason how he died.
Yeah, but the second time when he came in. Oh,
It was after the fight.
the troll?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a troll that they had to fight. Long story short, he showed up after a battle looking
I should commission you to
looking
do something.
for what was it? Just to join the fight, right? To help him out?
I think he was just looking for a place to go because he couldn't go back to the capital.
Yeah, he needed a group to actually like go out and adventure with.
Because he wanted to discover things.
Yeah.
He was an inventor. That wasn't a class.
That's not the class, but
he invented stuff.
yeah, I'm gonna remember the name. Like whenever you have to start explaining stuff, I'm gonna look it up. Actually, why don't you look it up while we're doing this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, the last one. So that one's the shortest out of all the intros because he's relatively new character-wise to that campaign. The last one is Lady Saria, who's played by Ashley, and that one's been there since the beginning. No, a little bit after.
Half.
Yeah, half. She died. That's why.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
I do that I'm not.
I'll recover it.
It's there's videos to explain about what I did, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover it in an actual series.
My character is the one from the beginning, still go on. If my character died, then this whole campaign probably would have went away.
Yeah. So Lady Saria joined
Artificer.
this group because she fell from heaven, and yes, it did hurt when she fell from heaven. Didn't she make an impact or something like that? And everything around it took like
Yeah,
8d6s of damage.
it was 86. I was far enough to see it, but not being in range.
Yeah.
And you described it, if anyone knows Halo, as an ODST landing. And I'm just like,
Like
I'm
a
gonna
Master
check that
Chief.
out.
That's like Halo 3, or between Halo 2 and 3, where Master Chief rode that piece of debris all the way down from the sky and crashed in and made that huge crater. That's pretty much what she did. She's in the Celestial plane.
Artificer.
Artificer?
Artificer.
Oh,
Artificer.
cool. Okay.
There we go.
Hendrik is an Artificer.
Yes.
She is a cleric, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Cleric of Palor. And she, once she got reincarnated, she basically joined up with him in a very horrible relationship in the beginning. These guys did not get along at all.
Yeah.
But continuing,
Probably all my fault.
they fought through a lot of things, and so this comes to why they needed to get to the dungeon.
Saved my ass a lot of times too.
Yeah, she saved everyone's ass a lot of times.
Not my fault.
So, I mean, fuck, costed her arm and a leg. So, the premise was that they needed to get to a dungeon to talk to a special scientist known as White Swan. Long story short, it's a guy who can cure the plague that's ravaging the land. They needed to pass this dungeon as a trial to get to him. And this brings you, because you knew Black Swan, who
Mhm.
brought you here.
Yeah.
Lady Saria, because same
Kinda.
thing,
No, just landed there.
just landed there. And so she wound up just tagging along with you because of your party.
Yes.
And Hendrik went there because exploring and tagging along
Tagging along.
for knowledge.
Yeah.
Fucking nerd.
I think a little bit of background for the campaign is there's a plague going on in the campaign where we have actually two groups. The good group basically and the bad group. The bad group spreading the plague, and the good group stopping the plague, which is my group. And inadvertently spreading the plague. I got infected, but because my constitution was so high, I was immune to it, and I didn't notice. No, not immune, but I didn't notice the effects.
He hasn't taken negs for the longest time because his con is so high.
Yep. And I was shaking people's hands, unknowingly spreading it, and that's how the disease spread even faster than the bad group doing its job. I did.
He killed an entire country.
I did more than the bad group could have.
Yeah,
Done.
and faster. They're supposed to spread this plague. It's supposed to be like a tense build-up. What's going on? Why is there disease and stuff like that? Kind of like a really bad zombie film. But no, it just turned into like straight apocalypse immediately because of everything you did.
Yeah, shit happens. I mean, good intentions, right? Man,
Good intentions.
Nice to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet
Shake
you.
hand, and just
We're heroes.
months later, it came up.
Mm-hmm. So
we went to this dungeon to speak to White Swan. We had to go through its dungeon quarters, which is pretty much trials. There were 6 rooms, and each one it was different.
White Swan knows the cure. This is why he's important.
Yes, and I was gonna say I'm the only one that knows this information technically because of I was the only one to survive everything. So they're tagging along, and I told them what happened in the dungeon, and they're just like, "Oh, okay, well, why not? Let's go."
Yeah, I think these guys had a. I think you guys had to fight your way through this magma lady or something like that.
Magma
Salamander.
lady?
Yeah,
No,
fire
it's
salamander.
Chomsky. Oh.
So,
We got through that. I think that was the first time we went through, and we got obliterated because we took major loss,
Yeah.
and it
the
was
second time was easier.
second time was
You guys
easy.
went through. Magma lady showed up. You fucking whooped her ass really fast. I was surprised.
Yeah.
You pushed all the way to the door.
Uh-huh.
Like you went to some of the side rooms, but those aren't really important right now.
The one is, and then
No, that was the first time you guys were through. You never went to the scorpion room the second time.
the second. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay,
Second
yeah,
time.
you're
You
right.
guys avoided that room like the plague.
Yeah, fuck that room.
Another episode.
Yes.
It was the room with the key that you guys had to explore all the statues.
Oh yeah. that
You,
was
you
fun.
yeah, real simple or decent puzzles, a riddle puzzle. They got the key from it. and you guys approach the door. I'm trying to bridge the boss fight. So we get to the boss room, opens it up. Didn't you guys have to like do a strength check for the doors, and it was nothing but like dark ice and just pure white snow. This room hasn't been touched in like fucking forever. And you remember these guys pushed through, and everyone's being super cautious. What I love about these guys, super cautious and paranoid. You were leading, correct?
Yes.
You jumped down into a little 5 foot like dip, and if anyone knows anything about what boss fight looks like, this was what looked like a boss fight.
It was obviously a boss fight.
This is like a whole fucking arena.
Yeah. With a
He jumped down,
big ass glacier in the middle.
and there's a giant glacier. Didn't you guys try testing something? Oh no, you guys are just looking, right? Somebody
I went
touched.
Up, I went up to the frozen doorway with the stairs
And that's what triggers it.
and investigated it, and I didn't touch it yet, but I looked around and I thought to myself, I'm gonna touch this and something's gonna happen. So that's what I did. I touched it and then something.
And then
happened.
something happened. That was the trigger for it.
Yep.
That or a bunch of noise where you wake them up, but either way.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things were in a dormant state. They got woken up because this is the final trial.
They're ice giants basically. They were ice giants.
Giant ice golems.
Ice golems. They were.
One major boss and two smaller like NPC golems.
They were nothing.
Oh god,
They were hard, but I had a flame sword.
Yeah,
so
he had a flame sword, countered it.
I can counter it easily. Yeah, but
Noel, like they were beating Hendrick's ass.
he sent his bear down.
No, he sent his mechanical machine, but he too was down there at first. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was like, boom, and then the one behind him came out, was like smack in the face. He's like, oh, that's like half my health.
Oh yeah, he did have a little.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
And then Lady Saria never jumped down.
No.
She was staying at the top, like, oh, spells.
Yeah, and it helped actually.
I just remember Pillar of Flame.
Pillar of Flame. But it was a good move because of her ice, but also she kept her distance and didn't hit me. Best thing about it. But we were
in the drawing. You just see how Heavy's position in the drawing is pretty much how these guys were in the very first encounter before they got up.
Yes. And I think the worst thing about that whole encounter was the ending. We'll get to that though.
So basically, this ice giant or ice golem, god damn it, not gonna make saying giant. Ice golem, if they deal a certain damage to it, it had damage reduction and it had a hardness to it. The bag of no.
So when we were searching that run room with a stone golem,
there's a stone golem you guys fought, destroyed as a trap room, and a lot of like good treasure.
Yes, amazing treasure, really good treasure, like top tier.
Hendrick found a bag of holding.
Yes.
And he was like, "Sweet, I'm looting this. It's mine because you guys had a bag of holding already."
Yeah, we already did, and he basically took it from me, like he sneak grabbed it from me.
Yeah. He didn't show the party.
No, he didn't show me. So.
And he was throwing all the jewelry into it.
Yes, he was that greedy bag. I didn't know anything.
Yeah, nobody knew that he was taking all the loot, but he was pretty much taking all the loot. Defeated the stone golem. You guys were picking up your magic items, and he was looting his own part, which he had like some of the best stuff.
Yes.
All the rest of the most expensive stuff. So there's a lava pit. You guys had a cross.
No.
That was near the door.
No. Oh yes. We kind of walked across it because of.
You guys had to leave for some reason all the way back to the entrance. Because you guys had to go all the way back through. Remember? She had to use Dimension Door.
It was because we needed to rest before we went to the boss.
Yes.
And we couldn't rest there because we were getting exhausted turn by turn.
Yeah, the environment was too hot for them to comfortably rest. It was considered that they were in danger because I mean they would have died if they did it.
I was in a suit of armor, so heat and armor and metal don't work.
Although you had the best con out of everybody, but you guys would eventually die due to states of exhaustion.
Yes.
So they had to leave, go rest up at the entrance, and then come back. However, they used a rope to climb past one of the lava pits, and that rope had wound up burning because of a Nat 1.
Yeah.
So they were down a rope. Think Noel could just take
he could transform.
Yeah, he had Alter Self, so he could just fly over everything all the way to the end of the dungeon.
He tried carrying me, it was too heavy.
But nobody could carry him. Zarin needed a way because he was a non-magic user. And Lady Saria could teleport the mechanical beast.
Yes, Dimension Door with it.
Yeah, and then
Oh
herself.
no! What happened was
But we needed someone to take you.
and what we did was Hendrik made me smaller
Mm-hmm.
to fit in the bag of holding that he had,
Mm-hmm.
and he put me in the bag of holding while he went over there.
He said, "Use my bag of holding. Just stick them in there."
Yeah, and then she
I
took the
cast
bag.
alt herself. I fly over.
hmm So what happened was, Sarah dimension doored with the beast, the Griffith, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
to the other side, while Hendrik had to catch up, and it took I think a minute for him to get there. Within that minute, that bag of holding was not a bag of holding.
It was a bag of devouring.
Yes,
Because
and
nobody cast an identifier or examined it.
nope, we just kind of assumed that, and that wasn't really our fault. It was, but either way,
It was mostly Hendrik.
it was digressing. But to the point where I instantly found out that I was getting devoured when I entered that bag,
But he couldn't escape.
and I couldn't do anything.
He just tossed him. He's like, "Yeah, whoop," and then just shut it.
Yeah, and I technically I should have been there, but dead there.
You should have been dead instantly.
I had a wish from
The
Box
deck of many things.
deck of many things. I got lucky with that.
He had 2 wishes remaining.
Yes, and what I did was I didn't use them, but that was the first time I used it. The DM Robert here gave me a chance to use the wish before I was killed instantly with all my.
As he's going down into the intestines.
Yes, it was.
I was like,
disgusting.
"You got 1 breath left in here. Use it wisely."
And I took a minute and thought about my wish because I knew this guy would twist my words.
I'm like a genie.
He's
You
like,
better word it right.
yeah. So I worded. I literally wrote it down and read it to him word for word because I was so nervous. And
Because the first time he shouted it, he stopped himself, and you fucked it up almost.
I did almost. Fuck
You
it
almost
up.
fucked it up. I was like, and you're like, no, 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 and I was like, good.
Yeah.
Because he
so
almost fucked it up.
That's when this is when it comes. I'm bad at words. So when it came down to it, the final wish I said was, I wish that I was out of the bag of, or something along these lines. I wish I was out of the bag of holdings with no harm done to me, or no harm done to my equipment, and completely healthy. And the wish came true. I worded it completely correctly, and turns out by the
Covered
end,
all his bases.
covered every base. It took me like a good 5 minutes to word that whole sentence. It was really challenging for me. But it turns out that after that wish, I was no longer infected with the plague. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, he literally cured himself of the plague because of that wish. Like, he made himself in perfect health. That's one of the things he wished for, was perfect health. I was like, okay. And so,
It backfires later.
yeah. So, you guys, because Lady Sorry almost died if he didn't use that wish to pull you out, remember?
Yes. Yeah, because
But
she
we had
went
to rewind that situation because you used the
Uh-huh.
wish.
Because she went to pull me out the bag, but once she put her hand in there, it started sucking her in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I popped out, I seen that she was getting pulled in, so I had to pull her out. And then I saved her, and then we tried to destroy the bag of holding, and then it just turned itself inside out, right? Or no? Did it teleport? I don't remember.
Mm-mm.
I think we threw it in the lava.
Yes,
We do it in
you did the
lava.
one ring thing. Yeah, you're just like,
And then Hendrik comes and is like, hey, where's my bag? And it was just like, we destroyed it.
And they're like, your bag, your bag.
We went off on
Fuck
Hendrik
your
for,
bag.
for a good minute or two.
He's like, well, what was wrong with it?
Good times.
It's a
So,
boss fight.
yeah, boss fight. Boss fight was pretty challenging. It was fun. It was really fun. We had
Every time they did, what was it, fire damage to it, it created a mist cloud.
Yeah. So
And, oh, well, we got to do where he slams on the floor and all the icicles fall off from the roof.
yeah,
That happened too.
ceiling. And I was the only one that was close quartered, so I was the only one that could see at all times. And then Saria had the guess, and I shouted at Saria, hit the same spot, and basically he's big enough, he would hit the same spot. She hit the same spot.
It was pretty much a boss fight in obscuring mist.
Yeah, that no one knew what was going on besides me.
2 ranged characters and 1 melee.
We kicked this ass. Oh no.
Mm-mm. Because you guys are like, yeah, we're kicking its ass.
And then it did something.
And then it has a special ability.
It finally
The
made it.
obscuring mist is its ability where mine is a little bit homebrewed. I do a lot of custom shit to keep things interesting. And so he can chill the air as long as that mist is in the air. The mist only occurs if you do fire damage to him, which he has the flame sword. So he's doing extra damage, but as a drawback, it creates a mist, and then he can chill the mist, which is called flash freezing, that does so much. I think it was
I think it was
a few.
5d12s or d8s.
No, it was D6s. It was fireball dice.
Oh,
But it was pretty much fireball dice, but not as many. I want to say 5 or
Four.
6.
I want to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, that many when he activates it all at once, but it destroys the mist, but it does damage to anyone who's inside of it who's not immune to cold.
Pretty much me.
Well, no, Hendrik got hit by it once.
He was like right up. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
he got hit by it once too, and so he can only do this if he hasn't taken any fire damage within a round.
And I think I missed that one.
There was one where you missed all your shots. You missed everything.
I missed it.
You missed every single hit, and then he just he was able to do it finally.
Yes.
But other than that, I think he only got to do it once, maybe twice.
Yeah, and I lived through both of them. I got really close to death. I really did, or getting down, but I lived
He was
through it.
punching the shit out of you.
Yeah,
When they finally dropped him, you still had the little ones left, and the little ones beating the shit out of Hendrik
The
and
little
you.
ones beat the shit out of me. I don't know how to understand.
Yeah.
I beat the hell out of the boss. And
You're like, yeah, fuck you, boss. And the little ones come up, and they're like the fucking mushroom people from fucking.
Hendrik went down, I think.
Hendrik went down.
Hendrik went down, and sorry I had to get up and close and personal to help Hendrik up while I was distracting the golems. And there's a point where Saria has this special weapon called
Flame tongue? Oh, no. Are you talking about their Apocalypse Dagger?
Apocalypse Dagger.
Yes, this is where it comes into play. I forgot about that.
She had an Apocalypse Dagger. I don't know anything about it. This guy does.
Apocalypse Dagger, if you know anything about 3.5 homebrew weapons, stuff like that, normally you have to roll like a D100 with that, but 5th edition doesn't have that. It's usually on a nat 20, whatever the weapon special ability is happens. So this one kind of creates a black hole if you have the ornament turned down. Yeah, if the ornament's turned down, it creates a black hole. If you had the ornament turned up, it rains meteors. Either way, it's bad.
If you're nat 20.
If you nat 20 with it.
She used this weapon twice.
She used the weapon twice.
Nat
the
20.
first time in hell, she had it turned up, she nat 20'd. The first time she ever used it, fucking rained meteors down and just changed the entire landscape of hell.
Yes.
So the Infernal Plane was not the same. Or was it the Abyss she was? No, she was in the Infernal Plane. Yeah, she was in the Infernal Plane.
She
So
went to go kill that thing.
destroyed, like, devilish cities, things like that. Like, everything was... There was the apocalypse in hell that they weren't ready for. And... Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Fits a little bit,
It's
but... Magic meteors.
double negative.
So... This time, she whipped it out, and she stabbed the fucking ice golem with it. The last one alive, too, keep this in mind, right?
Yes.
Last one, she's trying to last hit it or something.
She was trying to finish it off because epic.
Yeah, she wanted to be spicing it up. Stabs it, nat 20s, and the abyss spiced it the fuck up. Basically, a black hole started to form and just devour everything with dark necrotic energy. And she was frozen. She was paralyzed because this is her channeling the energy, but she doesn't know it. Someone has to kind of like pry her away from it.
It was time held still with her, right?
Yes. So she would be consumed by it if, and then something special happens. But something special happens, but she'd be consumed by it if you wait too long. I think it was like 3 turns or 4 turns I had. You fuckers dipped.
I was able to pry her off, I believe, and
yeah, Hendrik was like, nope, I'm out of here.
He got the hell out. So after that, I made my second and final wish was for all of us to get out that room safely.
Mm-hmm.
And to the beginning of the entrance of the dungeon, which we all did, except Sora had a little
missing another arm.
Yeah.
So she has one prosthetic already, and then she had a normal arm, the one that she's stabbed. The arm, because of how long they took to like get her away from it, was consumed by the black hole, basically.
And at that point, she gave up on life.
Yep, and she had the touch of the abyss on her, which is this blackish, inkish shit that keeps corrupting you slowly. It's basically you can't heal it. Unless by special means. Which there was an entire quest that was going to open up for that.
Yeah. And then after that, we went back to the door by regular means, nothing special.
Yep.
We took it completely safe. Back to the door, unlocked the door, went through the door. Everything was dead. The dagger was nowhere to be found because the dagger stood in place in space, in time.
Space and time. It was stuck in there.
And
You're like,
it disappeared.
That's not normal.
and it disappeared. And then we went to open up the ice door,
Yeah.
which I melted with my flame tongue sword, and we went through and met Black Swan or White Swan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
White Swan.
White Swan.
Yep, you guys went and met White Swan.
Mm-hmm.
And what funny part is that they're going to use him as a source of the plague because he's infected or was
I
infected
was infected,
to take a blood sample and examine the plague and then make something off of it.
but I made a wish and became extremely healthy, and
Yep.
no longer had the plague. So White Swan was like, "Hey, I can't help you because you don't got nothing
Yep.
to me to
He's
look
like,
at."
show me this plague you got. No one has it. Not a single person has it. And
did.
Hendrik, in a solo session for his background, because he had to escape the zombie city. It was a really cool event that we had to do one-on-one. He killed one of the creatures that carried the plague, and he took its saliva and carried it in a vial. Why he did this, I forgot, but he's a scientist who doesn't know anything about medicine.
And if
And-
that bottle would have exploded on him, he would have become infected.
Yeah, it was concentrated.
Yeah,
It was concentrated venom for the plague. And so he whipped that out of his bag, was like, I do! And so he had the perfect form for him to study.
Yes.
And so the guy came up with an what's it called?
It wasn't
a vaccine.
It wasn't an antidote. It was a vaccine for
Vaccine and an antidote. It was both, because if you had it, it would cure you.
Nice. Well, you had to take it before
Yeah.
you got infected.
No, he had a way of means. He was able to develop the vaccine first, to where you don't get infected, and then he was working on the way to release it from your body,
Oh yeah.
which he did. After that was what took up the month. He said the vaccine I have in a week, the cure I have in a month.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so that's how that quest ended, which was they found the guy and everything worked out just nice and dandy. But I think that's it for this video. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.